Did you finish the first time? Tell me about that experience, how it affected you.
Oh, the first time, no, I almost died, and I almost killed my family too. Because I rented a motorhome like an idiot I am. We'll take a motorhome out to Death Valley in the middle of summer. That'll be pleasant. Yeah. And this thing, of course, broke down. And so my family, thankfully, because I had a 6-month-old daughter at the time, my family somehow was rescued by a ranger, park ranger, that took them to a hotel that was, 150 miles away, and they brought me out to the start. I had all the stuff I had, all my change of clothes, all my nutrition, and my hydration was all inside this motorhome that was broken down on the side of the road. So I basically ran solo. I ran self-supported, which is ridiculous trying to run in that kind of heat. And I remember I got to, Furnace Creek, which is, mile 18, and again, it was completely boarded up back then. Now it's open, in the middle of summer, but it was boarded up, and there was a gas station that was closed down. I remember there's like a water spigot, and I was so thirsty, I reached out to g and it's like at 8 at night, so it's already dark, and I reached out to grab the handle of the spigot to drink some water, and it burned my fingers. It was like picking up a hot pan off the stove. I mean, I remember my fingers burning, like, shit." So I got a leaf and I turned on this water and it came out so hot and eventually got less hot, kind of warm. And I drank all this water. And then I looked up and there was a sign that said non-potable water.
No.
So I just drank like, I don't know what it was, RV, brown water, black water. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't good. And, by mile 40, I was just throwing up like every time I threw up, I thought everything's out of me, and then I'd throw up again. And finally, my dad found me out in the middle of the desert, and we were so stupid back then. He heard that bagels have a lot of carbohydrates, like you need carbs, so eat bagels. So he brought all these plain white bread bagels. I'm like a camel. I have no moisture in my mouth whatsoever. I'm so dehydrated, and I'm trying to chew this bagel that I can't even tear a piece off because it's so hardened from the heat. And I tried to chew. I couldn't even chew this bagel. I mean, it was like toothpaste that became Play-Doh in my mouth. I just spit it out. So no food. And then finally, I got to a point where, I mean, I was just kind of bending over and pulling down my pants and opening my mouth, and I was just shooting out of both sides at the same time,
Jeez.
diarrhea out of one side and vomit out of the other. I mean, it
Yeah.
was horrible. That happened to me twice. And then finally my crew just said, when I kept falling, I was stumbling, I wasn't even I was kind of walking around in circles at a point, not even able to move forward. And they just drove me to a hotel and said, "It's over." Yeah, that's how the first attempt went.
And you came back for 9, 10, multiple more times.
It's Yeah, I finished 10 times now, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, with that first attempt, obviously you were extremely dehydrated. You were completely messed up. Would you have kept going had your crew not pulled you? Like, what was your mental state like?
No, I passed out. I mean, I literally collapsed. I remember, I started hallucinating, and I saw this minor 49er on the opposite side of the road, like an old, minor 49er. He had,
Yeah.
overalls on, he had this big gray beard, and he came walking across the street at me, and he had this gold pan in his hand, and he held out his gold pan to me, and he said, "Water, water, I need water." And I was carrying a handheld water flask, and there's a little bit left in there, and I kinda aspirated it in the water, my water into his gold pan, and I heard the water sizzling on the ground, and I thought and I reached out to, like, touch his shoulder, and my hand went right through him. Like, "Oh my god, that's a hallucination." And then I saw these big dinosaurs off in the distance. I mean, it got it got better and better, and then I I was hallucinating, I was, like, looking up at my crew laying in a bed, and I went to put my hand through my crew, and they were real. And I said, "Hold it, where am I?" And they said, "Oh, god, Dean, we found you passed out along the side of the road. We drove you to this hotel, and we turned on the air conditioner, and we put you in bed, and you've been asleep for 6 hours." And I said, "But wait, I wasn't finished. I wasn't done." And my dad said to me, "Son, you were very done." Sure, you were very finished. Like you're completely done. So
Did
that's
you
how the first year ended. Yeah.
were you thinking about a lot nowadays, again, we have a big culture of mental toughness and developing that. A lot of that, came about with the popularity again of David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me and all of that. But at that time when you were doing this, were you looking at it as a mental toughness, or was quitting even an option? Like, did you think about that?
It's a different mindset back then. It wasn't such a thing.
Yeah.
I think and I don't even think I'm that tough because I look back on previous generations. I think they were really tough. I mean, but we were just tougher back then because we didn't know any difference. We didn't know there was a hat you could put on to keep your sun out of the your face out of the sun. There's sunblock, that kind of thing. It was just you just dealt with it. You prepared and you went to battle and you didn't stop until you passed out on the side of the road. So it was just a different mindset, different mentality altogether.